We now have 22 times as many military personnel in the Muslim world than the Crusaders had in the 12th century. You see, the real problem, to my mind, is this. We're trying to produce in Afghanistan this special democracy, this wonderful society that will be a glittering symbol of our ability to help the third world, as we used to call it, or development, or whatever. But when you come down to it, our efforts to open schools in these remote villages, which the Russians tried to do totally hopelessly, in vain, the schools were burned just like they are now, is a bit like trying to persuade Oliver Cromwell or Henry VIII or the Duke of Alba, in your case, of the benefits of democracy or the rules of war. You know, I mean, Oliver Cromwell would chop your head off and get on with the war, wouldn't he? I think societies have to develop on their own. We can help them learn how to make modern bridges. They know how to build bridges. They've been doing it for centuries before we got there. But we can't. I think this goes throughout the Muslim world. We cannot go to the Muslim world always with our soldiers and our tanks and our Apache helicopters. It doesn't work. And we're always going there saying we're coming to produce a new freedom, we're going to help the... In 1842 we thought we were helping the barbarous Afghan people, and they thanked us by destroying an entire English army on the Kabul Gorge.
People saw ISAF at the beginning as a friendly force coming to help them, not aggressive, not coming to kill anybody, not coming to arrest anybody, to torture anybody, but coming to help them. And they loved them. Now, not only the Taliban, but more and more Afghans are wondering, who are these Western troops here? What are they doing? They are bombing our villages. They are breaking into our houses, roughing about our women and children. What is this? This is the Russians all over again. So I think, you need, exit strategy by all means. I think you need to tell the Afghans, look, this is what we are doing, this is why we are doing it, and we will be leaving. You tell the Afghans that you are after Al-Queda. Al-Queda is not in Afghanistan anymore. So they are wondering, what are they saying? They don't know that Al-Queda has left Afghanistan the end of 2001? And they still say we are after Al-Queda. Al-Queda is not there anymore.
I remember in 1980, in January, at the Bagram Air Base, which is now the main American air base in Afghanistan, going to a press conference which a Soviet general, a Soviet, not Russian, Soviet general in full uniform, announced to us all as journalists that there were only a remnants of terrorists left in the mountains, that the government had been stabilized, that we didn't want anything from Afghanistan, the Russian officer said. We're just here to help the government and bring stability and bring equality to women. That was a mainstay of the communist line in Afghanistan, and to make sure that people could live normal lives and lived in security. But there were only a few remnants of the terrorists, and then the war went on for another 8 years, right? And I was amazed when I went to a press conference at Bagram. Oh, we're now talking decades later, right?
30 years later.
Yeah, 30 years later. And there was an American general who said, there are just a few terrorist remnants up there in the hill, and we're bringing stability and security to the people of Kabul, and we're getting schools reopened. I sat there and I thought, I know what comes next. I know what comes next. And we're stabilizing the government. I said, I know the story. I know the story, And this is the problem. How many people dealing with that region now, I'm not promoting myself as having some special knowledge, but how many people now were ever there then?
We should not be confused with the Russians in the 1980s or the British in the 1840s and 50s or all sorts of other foreigners.
So the Dutch or the Western presence right now in Afghanistan is not occupation?
No, it is definitely not occupation. This is not an occupation in any way, shape, or form. We are there at the request of the overwhelming bulk of the Afghan people, and everybody knows that.